Vanuatu offers the fastest citizenship by investment program out of the traditional programs beside El Salvador. And it's also one of the cheapest options out there. So people who are in a rush to get a second passport, or they want to buy themselves this optionality, they want to protect in a timeline of 1 to 2 months. That is how long it usually takes to process applications in Vanuatu. They look into this program because it's significantly faster than other programs, for example, in the Caribbean or in Europe. So out of the traditional citizenship by investment programs, besides El Salvador, that is a $1 million program, Vanuatu starts at $130,000. So it is not only one of the cheapest, but it's also one of the fastest. And I believe this value proposition is what attracts some folks, especially people who already have strong passports, strong main nationalities, like, for example, Europeans or Americans, and they're just looking to have a second passport as a plan B, as a backup option. Vanuatu can work great if they don't have the time or they don't want to wait for months or years and get a second passport the fastest way they can without breaking the bank. Also, Vanuatu has a very unique due diligence process that for some folks, this is an advantage because they are a bit less strict than in other regions, like in the Caribbean. But on the other side, this has proven not so good for the long-term success or long-term strength of the passport, because some countries have decided to revoke the visa-free access of Vanuatu, as it was the case, for example, with the Schengen area and Europe in general, that Vanuatu used to give you visa-free access to Europe. Europe decided that the due diligence for the Vanuatu program was not up to their standards, whatever that means, and they decided to revoke visa-free access. But it always depends on what you're looking for, because it also gives you access to different regions of the world. For example, the visa-free access in the South Pacific is pretty solid. You have access to Singapore, you have access to Hong Kong. So if you value being part of this region of the world, you are expecting to travel there, it might be a very solid option in terms of visa-free travel. If you are looking to access Europe, maybe it's not so good. And it's a bit similar for doing business. If you're expecting to do business in the UAE, you're expecting to do business in Singapore, then you can probably use Vanuatu passport and citizenship to do business as your main identity. However, if you're planning to do business in the US, maybe you would be better with a Caribbean program that is closer geopolitically and closer in all of the senses to the US, and it would be a better passport for you to do business in the US. But as always, it depends on your goals and what you're looking for in this citizenship investment. So in Vanuatu, there are quite a variety of options. Some of them are more solid than others, and that's a lot of the work that we do at CitizenX to basically do our due diligence on all of these investment options to only offer the ones that pass our standards to people who come to invest in their citizenship at CitizenX. And right now we are offering two routes. One is the main donation that starts at $130,000. And then there are other routes that involve investments, for example, in the development of the country, in different types of funds for renewable energies and for clean energy in the country. But these options are generally more expensive, but also you are offsetting a bit the cost that you are incurring in with the donation options, and you are paying a higher investment amount, but part of it is actually being invested and you can redeem it after some time. I think long term, Vanuatu has a very strong case to improve their citizenship by investment program, as more citizenship by investment programs appear in the South Pacific region. For example, we recently saw the launch of Nauru. They launched their own program, and I think other countries, some of which we are very aware that they want to launch citizenship by investment programs. As the region explodes in that sense and blooms and more countries start offering citizenship by investment, I think the perception of Vanuatu will improve, and they're doing a lot of work to actually improve this perception in the international community. For example, soon they will start requiring the collection of biometrics for the issuance of the passport. Before, you could do all the process remotely, but soon they will introduce a requirement where you will need to give your biometrics either in Vanuatu or in an embassy abroad in order to receive your passport, as they transition to biometric passports that are up to the international standards. So I think things like this make the program stronger. And long term, I think it's going to be successful as the region as a whole succeeds and starts taking citizenship by investment as a very important part of their economies. There are also some folks with very weak passports for whom a Vanuatu passport improves what they already have in terms of visa-free access, even though it's not the best in terms of mobility. If you have a really weak passport, a Vanuatu citizenship and passport can be a good way to improve your travel freedom fast in a matter of weeks to months. And also, Vanuatu offers a really good tax-friendly residency. It's basically 0% taxes all across the board. Obviously, not so many people go live in Vanuatu and become tax residents there because it's quite isolated. You have direct flights from Australia and whatnot, but it's quite isolated from the rest of the world. So it is not so common that someone goes live in Vanuatu because of this reason. But if you decide to, and you decide to move your tax residency to Vanuatu, that is an option that you have if you are a citizen, then you can enjoy 0% taxes almost all across the board.